Today on Vegan Freak Radio, veganism kills babies and makes you pretentious. All that and more on podcast number 72 for May 28, 2007.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Bob.
And Jenna.
I got something in my throat.
You okay? Okay, Bob's taking a drink of water. And,
sorry about that.
Okay. So today is going to be a little bit of a shorter show than we're normally doing.
Sorry we're coming to you a little late. It's been really busy here, so for a variety of reasons. But I think the one thing that I've noticed, a common theme coming through today's show, is that the stupid people are definitely winning in the breeding war. Smart people, you need to go out and have more babies because the dumb people are winning. Judging by how many stupid things there are out there on the internet this week.
Yeah,
it is.
Today's show is going to make your head explode.
It's overwhelmingly stupid. Overwhelming. Like, oh my God, I can't believe people are this dumb stupid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a few things today and then do one quick voicemail, and that's about it. And then we're going to try and do a show next Thursday or Friday at the very latest.
This Thursday or Friday.
This Thursday or Friday at the very latest.
A couple days from now.
Because we're going to be gone next week. So hopefully we'll make up for the lack of shows that we've had lately. So lack of show.
We're just behind
a
little. So unfortunately, in the coming months, we may have to, on occasion, take a week off or fall behind like this. Because we've got a busy couple months coming up. I won't bore you with the details. But anyway, let's get right into this stuff and talk about it right away.
All right. The first article is kind of old news by now. It's been around for a week, and so I think most of you have probably already seen it, heard it. It's done the blog circuit.
Some people have even called it an emergency.
Yeah, but we have to talk about it. I mean, there's no way we can't talk about it because it's just so mind-bogglingly stupid. And it is the New York Times op-ed piece called Death by Veganism. And if you haven't heard it by now, I don't know where you've been for the past week. Not on the internet, I guess. And it is by a woman called Nina Plank, and we've actually read something by her before on our show. I believe we were talking about the whole spinach E. coli thing, and we read an op-ed piece that talked about how, the E. coli thing was due to beef, raising of beef and dairy cattle and the runoff.
You're right.
And of course, it was from, she said, factory farming's bad because it leads to this particularly nasty strain of E. coli. But her solution was happy
more
meat.
Beef. Yeah. Yeah.
Happy meat.
Yeah. So we're going to, for those of you few of you who may not have heard this article, we are going to read it and talk about Nina a little bit and, just rant and rave about it because, well, not rave, but rant about it because it just makes me want to cry. It is so infuriating. Anyway. Okay. It starts off. When Crown Shakur died of starvation, he was 6 weeks old and weighed 3.5 pounds. His vegan parents, who fed him mainly soy milk and apple juice, were convicted in Atlanta recently of murder, involuntary manslaughter, and cruelty. This particular calamity, at least the third such conviction of vegan parents in 4 years, may be largely due to ignorance, but it should prompt frank discussion about nutrition. Now, we've already talked about this case a little bit, and, the claim that everybody makes is like, of course, veganism did not kill this kid.
No.
Neglect killed the kid. A vegan diet does not consist of soy milk and apple juice. It's not a vegan diet.
That's all I had.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, anyway. But we had to get that off, right off the bat. Okay. I was once a vegan.
The ex-vegan, the famous ex-vegan.
Vegan, yay.
They always come out of the woodwork and come back to bite us.
They do.
They really do. It's like what they do is they use veganism, their current non-veganism, they use it as kind of a way to say, I know what I'm talking about because those people are really assholes and I'm on your side against them.
Right.
So it's a strategy. It's used to kind of set them up right away to give them authenticity, number one. She may have been a vegan for 2 fucking days. Who knows?
Yeah, really.
But she's going, she, of course, will stand in for the vegans, right?
And just because she couldn't figure out how to eat and feel good on her vegan diet doesn't mean the rest of us should have to fucking suffer, you know? And I say that because I have, later on, we're going to read something, an interview that talks about how she tried veganism, but it didn't make her feel very good. Anyway. I was once a vegan, but well before I became pregnant, I concluded that a vegan pregnancy was irresponsible. You cannot create and nourish a robust baby merely on food from plants. Yeah, well, they need to talk to all the vegan parents that I know whose kids are completely robust and energetic and smart and just way above their peers, if anything.
Absolutely. I mean, we know a lot of people who've gone through vegan pregnancies, who have been vegan throughout the pregnancy, who have raised vegan children, and they are in every way, shape, and form normal or ahead of the curve. You know, it's like not. I don't understand what is so complicated about it.
I know.
I mean, you can't. Okay, like you can't eat potato chips and drink Coke.
No.
On a vegan, you know, as someone who's pregnant, and expect your child to come out okay.
No.
And that doesn't matter whether you're a vegan or not.
Exactly.
It isn't veganism that's the problem. It's poor nutrition that's the problem.
Exactly.
And the other problem, of course, is that we have a public education system in this country that has been systematically gutted over the last 40 years, really, by successive Republican and Democratic administrations that want to see government a hollow shell of what it once was. And I'm no fan of government, but I do believe that the social functions that are provided by a social democratic system are in fact useful. Like education. And education is important because it teaches people to be critical and rational and thoughtful and not just obey or just go with whatever they think is right in their gut.
Oh, but we don't want that in this country. We want people to obey and not think because, you know,
Well,
we elect people like George Bush.
True.
So, yeah, there we go.
And also, it doesn't accord well with the Christian fundamentalist theocracy
No,
that's coming.
of course not. We don't want to question anything
No,
there. Right. Okay. Indigenous cuisines offer clues about what humans, naturally omnivorous, need to survive, reproduce, and grow. Traditional vegetarian diets, as in India, invariably include dairy and eggs for complete protein, essential fats, and vitamins. There are no vegan societies for a simple reason. A vegan diet is not adequate in the long run. No, you know what? There are no vegan societies because traditionally we have been in times of scarcity, unless you're super uber rich. And that has changed.
Yeah.
For most people. Not for everyone, that's for sure. There are certainly a lot of people for that whom that is not the case. And so in times of scarcity, if you need a source of protein and the easiest way to get it is to kill a squirrel, then that's what you're going to do. You know, or if you're going to have a cow and you're going to get the milk. But anyway. Yeah. Okay. Protein deficiency is one danger of a vegan diet for babies. There we go, the protein thing again. This is so old.
It is really old. And you know, we can blame Francis Moore Lepay for that one. All this like mixing protein combination bullshit. It's ridiculous.
I know. I mean, anyway.
You know, I have never once. I'm a fairly active guy. I mean, more now than I ever was. If you come back and listen to the Hell Show, you know, I run a couple miles a day, pretty much. We run a couple miles a day. I don't think about protein. I don't think, oh, am I getting enough protein? I just don't think about it.
No, we just eat a varied diet.
Yeah.
And we get protein. I'm not falling over dead.
No, not at all. So the whole protein thing, Jesus Christ. And of course, we can thank the meat and dairy industries for getting that idea in our head too. You know, that influencing school curriculum, providing materials, things like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. To continue, nutritionists used to speak of proteins as first class from meat, fish, eggs, and milk, and second class from plants. But today this is considered denigrating to vegetarians. No, it's considered wrong because all protein is good protein as long as you're getting it. Anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, the American Dietetic Association has a position statement on vegetarian and vegan diets, and it says that they're fine.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
And it's not like...
Professional dietitians, registered dietitians, say that they are safe diets even in pregnancy. Come on.
Right. The fact remains, though, that humans prefer animal proteins and fats to cereals and tubers because they contain all the essential amino acids needed for life in the right ratio. This is not true of plant proteins, which are inferior in quantity and quality, even soy. Bullshit. A vegan diet may lack vitamin B12 found only in animal foods, usable vitamins A and D found in meat, fish, eggs, and butter, and necessary minerals like calcium and zinc. When babies are deprived of all these nutrients, they will suffer from retarded growth, rickets, and nerve damage. Now, that's just wrong. I mean, even I read some of the responses to this article from like McDougall and from the PCRM, and they went through this piece by piece and said that's just completely wrong. The best source of vitamin D is sunlight. You make it in your skin. Vitamin A, vegetables.
Well, there you go.
Vitamin B12, yeah, okay, you can get it from animal foods. Where do we get it? Bacteria. It's like, anyway. Okay. Responsible vegan parents know that breast milk is ideal, and that is true. And most vegan parents will tell you they'll choose breast milk.
Of course.
It contains many necessary components, including cholesterol, which babies use to make nerve cells, and countless immune and growth factors. When breastfeeding isn't possible, soy milk and fruit juice, even in seemingly sufficient quantities, are not safe substitutes for a quality infant formula, which is also true, because most everybody should know that. It says, everybody's pointed out, it says right on every single soy milk carton, not to be used as an infant formula. Anyway. Yet, even a breastfed baby is at risk. Studies show that vegan breast milk lacks enough docosahexaenoic acid, or DHA, the omega-3 fat found in fatty fish. It is difficult to overstate the importance of DHA, vital as it is for eye and brain development.
You can eat goddamn walnuts.
Yeah. Or if you're really concerned, take a supplement which comes from algae.
There are vegan DHA supplements and EPA supplements.
There are.
I take one.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
That's because I'm weak and my diet sucks.
Yeah.
Good.
But fatty fish get it from algae.
That they consume.
They consume. Anyway, a vegan diet is equally dangerous for weaned babies and toddlers who need plenty of protein and calcium. Too often, vegans turn to soy, which actually inhibits growth and reduces absorption of protein and minerals. Okay. That's why health...
And it turns people gay, don't forget.
It turns people gay, too. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you remember that one?
Yeah.
That one editorial way back?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is why health officials in Britain, Canada, and other countries express caution about soy for babies. Not here, though, perhaps because our farm policy is so soy-friendly. Anyway. Historically, diet honored tradition. We ate the foods that our mothers and their mothers ate. Now your neighbor or sibling may be a meat eater or a vegetarian, may ferment his foods or eat them raw. This fragmentation of the American menu reflects admirable diversity and tolerance, but food is more important than fashion. Though it's not politically correct to say so, all diets are not created equal.
That's true. I agree. All diets aren't created equal.
No, they're not. But yeah, for different reasons. Food is more important than fashion. And this is going to come up in the other article that we're going to talk about. It seems that, we're all doing veganism is fad. Don't you know that?
Well, okay. Let's talk about what this woman promotes, though. Uh-huh. What is she about? She is about promoting happy meat, is she not?
She is.
Happy meat.
She is. On her own website, she is the author of a book called Real Food, What to Eat and Why. Is about how, this is from her own website, is about why butter and other traditional foods are good for you. Traditional foods, she means happy meat.
Happy meat.
Or do you mean this?
Happy meat.
And her new book, called Baby Food, is about traditional diets for fertility, pregnant nursing, and weaning.
Eat me.
So, of course, she's going to want people to buy her book.
Of course.
And to, promote her ideas of happy meat. And so, in order to do that, veganism has to look bad.
Well, let's just hope that she actually follows her own dietary advice and dies of a heart attack sooner rather than later.
That would be nice.
I actually think, though, that this kind of stuff, this kind of thinking in a lot of ways, I mean, she's promoting, she does go further to promote happy meat, right? Mm-hmm. I think this stuff, a lot of this blame can be laid directly at the doorstep of welfarist thinking and activism. Mm-hmm. Because what does it do? It makes the argument that it's okay, implicitly or explicitly, it makes the argument that it's okay to consume animals if they are treated okay before they die.
Yep.
And so she is playing directly into that rhetoric, which is promoted by mainstream organizations that are supposedly interested in animal rights. It's ridiculous.
I know.
But there is a wide swath, a wide array out there. And I think she knows that and sees that and feels it.
Exactly.
It's the same way that Whole Foods gets on that little bandwagon.
And Michael Pollan,
yeah,
who, I mean, it's no surprise that this op-ed piece shows up in New York Times because they've never been friends of vegans ever.
It's like Omnivore Digest.
It is, and they are so into the happy meat. They love the happy meat articles. Michael Pollan's a big writer for them, and this Nina Plank person, and you know, I mean, you look through the print version of the paper, they've got fur ads all over the place. So
Well, that's because
they don't
Happy
give a
Meat is a new market niche. I mean, that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. I've been doing this work for my book about critiquing Whole Foods and their whole animal compassion standards thing. And what no one seems to realize is that this is a market segment that they are playing and that they are colonizing. They're not doing this out of the kindness of their heart. They're a fucking corporation, you know? And I think that, and by the way, corporations don't do things for altruistic purposes. The whole point of a corporation is to deliver value to shareholders, you know? So what I'm trying to get at here is that she and Whole Foods and all these other places are colonizing this little market niche of kind of foodies and people who are okay with Happy Meat, but who don't like the idea of animals suffering before they die, suffering excessively before they die.
Right.
So she's falling into that. And I think that if we had a real animal rights movement, which we don't, but if we had a real animal rights movement and not just a cult of people that nodded their head in time every time PETA said something, we would be out there challenging this shit. But we're not. Not really. Do you think? Am I making sense?
Yeah. Yeah, as a movement, you mean?
Yeah.
Not just in every... I mean, from what it seems like a lot of people wrote letters. But
I mean also that we're not... I don't think we're taking on the broader question that is coming up through what she's implying. She's implying, first off, her first thing is that vegan diet isn't good for children or for pregnancy, right? But then by implication, she goes through and her book, of course, is going to argue that Happy Meat is a good thing and that, we need to consume... if we look at our old editorial, we need not consume factory farm meat. We instead need to consume Happy Meat. What I think that is, instead of promoting Happy Meat as a movement, we need to be a movement that is against that kind of rhetoric and just altogether against animal exploitation, whether it's kind and nice or whether it's, explicitly bad.
Of course.
At its roots. That's what I'm trying to get at. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing that bothers me about this whole thing is that, of course, she focuses on this one case of this vegan label being put on these parents who are horrible parents. And because it helps, A, it helps her, but B, it helps confirm what people want to believe about veganism. They want to believe that it's dangerous. They want to believe that it's unhealthy. They want to believe that it's too hard.
Yeah.
They want to believe that it's total deprivation and that we're only doing it because it's in fashion. And so this kind of thing is infuriating and dangerous because then people see this one article and like won't even think about it, won't even think about the fact, that a lot of this stuff is wrong.
Sure.
They'll use it and say, oh yeah, see, veganism's dangerous. You shouldn't be doing this.
Well, she's got the broad swath of public sentiment on her side, right?
Yep.
People don't like to hear that they shouldn't be doing X, Y, or Z.
Exactly. They want to be told that what they're doing is good and right, and she tells them that. She says, oh yeah, continue to eat meat. Just eat a little bit nicer meat, but eat meat.
Well, I mean, also the picture of her on her website, underneath the caption on the picture is, Nina says ham and eggs are good for you, even the saturated fats. But lard is mostly unsaturated. Lard?
Yeah, this is good. I do need to thank a lot of the people on the forums for doing some background research on all of this. This stuff comes from Flower Child, this particular thing. There was an interview with Nina in New York Magazine, and this is part of it that she excerpted, and it makes your head want to go, what? What the fuck?
Explode, you mean?
Yeah. What's real food? Food we've been eating for thousands of years, not industrial food. I grew up on a chicken and liver and eggs and whole milk, and then I became vegan and a vegetarian and my health suffered. I started eating beet and creme fraiche, eggs and raw milk cheese, and my health improved. I thought, this is interesting. I wonder if I'm going to get a heart attack. So I started to do some homework. The book is the result, and I concluded that real food isn't going to give you a heart attack despite what they say.
But
yeah.
Wait, what about all the overwhelming evidence that in fact, quote unquote, real food will give you a heart attack?
Yeah.
What about long-term clinical studies by like Dean Ornish and Esselstyn and all these other people that point out that eating lots and lots of saturated animal fat will kill you?
I don't know. What she does is really amazingly irresponsible and dangerous.
I actually think that's true.
Because she's promoting all of these things that are horrendous for you, and she's promoting, breastfeeding mothers eating fish, which is completely filled with toxins. And talk about, I'd rather, that's the great thing you want to pass on to your children, mercury, toxins, all kinds of pollutants.
Yeah, I mean, that will cause mental problems.
Exactly. And on her website, she promotes like raw milk and all this raw stuff. Anyway, but not the good raw. The other stuff.
It's at the
She
bottom.
says, yeah. Oh, lard. You can't seem to get enough of it. How can you get more lard into your diet? Well, I bake with lard, biscuits and pie crusts. Mostly I think that one shouldn't be afraid of the lard that's in bacon and sausages. The thing about lard is that it's mostly unsaturated fat, which nobody knows. And the monounsaturated fat is the same as the one in olive oil.
I'm going to have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
Yeah. Solid at room temperature? Hello? Okay, anyway. What did you have for dinner last night? Braised pork belly and some red wine and beef stock.
Not vegan.
What would you do if you were invited to a vegan restaurant? That'd be fun. I used to go to so many. The thing that I think is funny is the raw food people. They have it exactly right. Nutrients are destroyed when you cook food, but they have the food upside down. We should be cooking broccoli and carrots to make them more nutritious, and we should be eating raw beef, raw fish, raw egg yolks and Caesar salads, and raw milk. What the fuck?
Yeah. If she wants to eat all that stuff raw, I say go for it.
Go for it.
Because it'll
Maybe
offer
it'll kill
even
her
sooner.
Wow.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't really understand how someone could promote all of that raw food.
I don't know. Apparently she gets her nutrition information from the Weston Price Foundation, so
I don't know much about them.
I don't either, but apparently they're evil.
They're pretty wacko, aren't they?
Yeah.
As I recall.
Yeah.
So I think that whole thing is so problematic at so many levels. I mean, and I guess I don't know. I almost am surprised that the New York Times ran that. I mean, I know that they run a lot of foodie shit, but that article is so fucked up and so wrong on so many levels that I couldn't believe that they would be a party to that.
I know. I mean, just the nutritional information is just wrong.
She is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, how does she get? I wonder how she even got into the New York Times op-ed page. That's what I don't understand.
I have no idea.
I mean, I noticed that she used to be a speechwriter for one of the ambassadors to the UK under Clinton. So she's probably in the little, progressive intelligentsia.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep. I don't really know how that would happen, but apparently that's where she's at. And I think the whole thing is just ridiculously odd to find it in the Times. I mean, the Times has its problems. There's no question about that. But in general, I mean, even the right-wing stuff they run as op-eds, some of it's quite laughable, but, it's usually at least like sensible. Not sensible, because not a whole lot of right-wing stuff is sensible. Actually, no right-wing stuff is sensible. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think something like that is deeply irresponsible. I would expect something like that out of the Wall Street Journal op-ed page.
Yeah.
Not out of the New York Times.
Right.
That is so. It seems like something that would come from the American Meat Institute.
Or the New York
almost.
Post.
Or
the
the
New York
Post.
Times.
That's too long for the New York Post. And there are no boobs.
Right, no boobs.
Yeah. Nothing about Britney Spears in there. Right? That's why I would never run in the Post. Anyway, I think the whole thing is just completely fucking ridiculous. And I don't know. I kind of wonder if we're just giving her too much attention.
Probably. But it's just so infuriating. We had to talk about it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's kind of infuriating, but on the other hand, I'm not surprised. I mean, this is the kind of stereotype that most people have of veganism, and I'm not. I've heard these kinds of arguments before. Students have come back at me with these arguments. I don't find it all that shocking.
No.
On the whole.
No. I guess it's just so shocking to see so much of it in one space in a national newspaper that, I don't know. I guess that's why they put it in as an op-ed piece and not an article.
This is true.
But I feel better now that I've ranted about it.
Well, that's good. Good. It is a ridiculous op-ed.
Yeah.
And I think that there are so many problems with the whole ideas, with the ideas that she's promoting. And I also think that, again, I mean, I know I pick on the movement, but I think that as an animal right, if we had a genuine animal rights movement, we would really have better responses to these things. I mean, what is the response of the movement? The response of the vast majority of the movement is, more happy meat.
It's better for the animals.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous to me. I think that there's certainly a connection there to that as well.
I agree.
All right. What do you think? Want to move on to the next piece?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Speaking of annoying, this article was sent to us by Snowboard Bunny. I think at the end I'll read to you what she's written. And I think we'll just go through and kind of make some comments on this. This is called Vegetarian versus Vegan. Some sense holier than thou condescension. Some vegetarians might just be more serious than others. This is by Jonathan Fenaroli, May 18th, 2007. So, I think what I'll do is read some of this article, maybe all of it actually. This is another piece of absurd fucking journalism. It's like, did this guy have nothing better to write about?
Apparently not.
This is ridiculous. Anyway, let's see. I'll just skip right down here and say, by definition, all vegetarians are not created equal. Most dictionaries describe them in general as people who do not eat meat or fish, but instead eat vegetables, fruits, grains, seeds, and sometimes eggs and dairy products. It's that last bit that sticks in the craw of many a hardcore non-carnivore. The problem is most people have very different ideas about the word and the lifestyle. I know people who eat fish and call themselves vegetarians, says Highland Fisher, 33, an 11-year vegan and an apprentice architect from Nevada City, California. I wouldn't consider them vegetarians. While there are numerous variations, the meat-free family tree is made up of two main branches. On one side is ovo-lacto vegetarians who swear off the consumption of flesh but will readily partake of animal products such as eggs, milk, cheese, and honey. This is thought to be the most common type of vegetarian. A 2006 national poll conducted by Harris Interactive bears that out. Of 1,000 adults surveyed, 2.3% counted themselves in the ovo-lacto category. Now pay attention to this. On the other side, and in the minority, are the vegans. Those who claim to shy away from animal products of any kind. Just 1.4% of those asked in the Harris poll said they were vegans. Okay. On the other side and in the minority are the vegans. It's like the gays.
Right.
You know, like, I'm the only gay in the village, right?
We're the only
It's like,
vegan in the village. Yeah.
Are we the only vegan in the... But no, it's like the vegans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I hear people talk dismissively about gay people, they call them the gays,
yeah.
you know, or I don't know, the foreigners, or... But it's just like an othering term, you know.
Yeah.
Something about the way that was written really stuck. I didn't find that... I tripped over that
They
when I
don't
read
talk
it.
about that the vegetarians in the same way.
Right.
The vegetarians.
The vegetarians. And then they have this, those who, and this is what Snowboard Bunny points out. She says, I got really angry when they defined vegans as those who claim to shy away from animal products of any kind. Those who claim like we're all secretly eating animal products when no one is looking.
That's what they think.
And I think that's what they think. Those who claim to shy away from animal products. What does that mean? Why not just those who shy away?
Right.
Well, anyway.
Because they can't imagine that anybody could possibly survive and live without any animal products. Oh my God.
What if a monkey made you a sandwich? Would you eat it then?
Would you?
No.
Okay.
It have monkey germs on it.
What are you against monkey germs?
No.
Okay. Can't we all just get along? Is what it's called. Is the next section of the article. It seems the ovo-lacto addendum that has scattered the. It seems it's the ovo-lacto addendum that has scattered the herd, with all sides clinging tenaciously to the central vegetarian moniker. Actually, I don't agree with this. I mean, it says that both vegans and vegetarians are clinging to vegetarian. I think that's bullshit. I think that if we're going to be vegans, we're vegans and we're not vegetarians, because
No.
vegetarian means ovo-lacto. And I think that as a political matter, we should not confuse the notion of vegan and vegetarian.
I agree. But you see that in supposedly vegan media, they use the term vegetarian to refer to both vegans and vegetarians, which I think is really annoying.
I think it's I said problematic.
Yeah, that's-
Drink. I think it's problematic because what it does is it covers up the whole notion of what the difference is and why someone would be a vegan.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It
Yes.
kind of puts us under this one umbrella, and I don't think we're under it. To me, it's like if you're a vegetarian, and I know there are vegetarians out there who are listening to this and are going to be angry at me. If you're a vegetarian, you might as well just be a fucking omnivore, because you're eating dairy, you're eating eggs. There's more suffering in those products, per ounce than there is in meat. So it's like, if you care about animals and you're supposedly an animal rights vegetarian, you're contradicting yourself. You can call me morally superior all you want, but it's a basic logical contradiction. It is not difficult to understand. So the way I feel about that, I mean, I'm usually a little more, when I meet vegetarians in person, we talk, I don't do this, but since we're a show that caters to vegans, I feel like maybe some of you would agree with me. I think we should be kind to vegetarians. But I think vegetarians should get their shit together and come our way.
I agree.
Because we're morally superior and always fucking right. Anyway, it's a small part of the language that causes division, Fisher says. Vegans do try to separate themselves. We don't look down on vegetarians. I do. No, I'm just kidding. I think vegetarians are making a step in the right direction. They just need to come all the way.
Yeah.
Vegan people have a religious verve, always encouraging people to go further with their faith.
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
Jason Atkins, 29, a web reporter for supervegan.com, agrees. I know people who are pretty militant about it, he says, but most of them would not condemn anyone for not being a vegan. The biting question. Haha, the biting question.
You always get these stupid fucking puns in these kinds of
Really?
articles.
I mean, do they sit... What is up with the staff writer? Is it someone they're getting ready to fire? You know, and they're like, go write an article about vegans and vegetarians. Anyway, the biting question. Oh, where's my drum accent? I can't find the drum accent there. Wait. Whoop, wrong one. Anyway, if one consumes some animal products, are they really a vegetarian? Eating cheese is not the same as killing an animal, says Eric Johnson, a 34-year-old vegetarian and completely clueless guy, an ad agency music supervisor from Portland, Oregon, who has come across a holier-than-thou attitude from some vegans. I've heard people say, if you eat dairy, you contribute to the problem as much as any meat eater.
Gee, where would they have heard that? Maybe like 3 minutes ago on our show.
But it's true.
It's true. This guy needs a lesson in how cheese is produced. Hello.
Where does he think that there are just pregnant cows walking around out there that are just like, ooh, take my milk. Take it. Squirt,
Yeah,
squirt, squirt.
and cows just naturally produce milk for us. And they don't have babies, and they don't and when they're done producing milk, they just roam the countryside.
But these are the same people that think that there is that use cow to apply to both male and female animals.
True.
They think that they just don't fucking know, and they need to be educated. I think. I mean, pardon me for saying so. What am I supposed to do? It's always seen as holier than thou when you want to make an argument that, in fact, someone doesn't see the whole picture. Why is that holier than thou?
Because they don't want to be wrong.
But, okay, eating cheese is not the same as killing an animal. But this is the thing, Eric Johnson, you clueless vegetarian. It is the same as killing an animal. I mean, what happens in the production of milk? Where do all those baby calves go? Cows must be pregnant to produce milk. The baby calves go somewhere. Where do they go? To a happy little farm somewhere.
They do. They go to that happy little baby cow farm.
Happy meat. Happy meat farm.
They go to the farm that makes the veal for the Dalai Lama.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We've got some good follow-up on the Dalai Lama stuff we'll talk about on the next show. Or maybe the show after that. It'll take us a while to get through some of that. But very, very positive responses to the Dalai Lama rant last time. I was surprised. Some of which said you didn't go far enough. Anyway, good old Eric Johnson here, our friend Eric Johnson. I'm not trying to be holier than thou to Eric here, but I do think that he should realize that, in fact, eating dairy does contribute to the problem. Mm-hmm. Where does he think it comes from? And it enslaves animals for our wants and desires. If you care about animals as a vegetarian, how can you possibly feel good making an animal produce something for you? That's what I won't understand.
Good question.
It's like, hey, I'm trying to do something good, and then you come across as a jerk with an attitude, he says. And you're just like, come on. But actually in our book, we try to discourage people from coming across as jerks with attitudes, because we think you need to slowly work on people depending on, where they're at. So I wouldn't normally do this to vegetarians, to be honest.
No, in person we'd be much more calm.
Yeah, we're a show for vegans.
All right. It's called Vegan Freak Radio for a reason.
That's right. Okay. While few vegans admit to a full-on bias, most do say they wish more people would see it their way. Anyone who chooses not to eat meat should be applauded, says Fisher, known to friends as the vegan. But it's perplexing to me that someone who chooses a vegetarian lifestyle wouldn't go vegan. Atkins believes, quote, naming is counterproductive because it causes division. Now, what kind of liberal fucking bullshit is that? That is just complete fucking crap. I'm really sorry, Atkins at supervegan.com. That is complete fucking bullshit. You are full of shit, sir.
Why didn't you call your site Super Vegetarian if that was the case?
Why don't you just call yourself superperson.com if that's what you really believe, right? Why don't you work for superperson.com? That would be the least divisive kind of term out there available at all. Why not just superperson? Oh, I see. Because you want to differentiate yourself. Why? Oh, because it helps people understand what the fuck you're doing. Counterproductive. Liberal bullshit. God, no. I hate this shit because what is the assumption? The assumption is like, oh, we're going to cause division and we're going to upset people. Sometimes you've got to fucking put your foot down and say what you believe in and take the fucking consequences for it. And sometimes that means alienating people. Sometimes it means making people angry with you. But that's what you have to do on occasion to create a more just world. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you walk into a room full of white supremacists and you say, I'm an anti-racist, that is going to create division. Just like if you walk into a room full of speciesists and say, I'm a vegan, it's going to create division. And there's nothing fucking wrong with that because it is you standing on your principles. Thank you. I feel better now.
Good.
No, I'm just tired of that liberal bullshit.
I know.
Anyway, with celebrity news and eco-fashion, eco-fashion, is he an ecosexual? With celebrity...
Yeah.
Anyway, with celebrity news and eco-fashion as his beat, let's...
Just because he doesn't eat it doesn't mean he doesn't beat it.
And New York City as his home, Atkins meets all kinds of people. He says he hasn't had any real problems with vegetarians, but there certainly is a gap. Atkins, who gave up animal products 8 years ago, says, I would like it personally if everyone were vegans, but that's not very realistic. And why not? Why is that not realistic? Why? Why is it not realistic to expect that people could be vegan?
I don't know.
That is the audacious claim with which we have done this radio show for years. The audacious claim with which we have written a book and continue to write more books. That is not that crazy. We get email every day from people telling us that they went vegan. Why can't more people be vegan? Anyway, it took just 2 months of being a vegetarian before he went vegan. Well, I agree. That's good for him because it took me a lot longer. I told myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it right, he says. And anyway, they go on and talk about here Stanley Sapon, who they began talking about in the beginning of the article, and he says...
Who's a linguist. Yay!
Really?
Yes. At the beginning, they identify him as a
Oh, yeah,
linguist.
psycholinguistics. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did I say his name right?
I think so.
Anyway, he says, it makes a difference whether vegetarianism is a diet or a philosophy, he says. A diet is a list of the foods you choose. A philosophy is a set of coherent reasons for making those choices.
That's really great.
Yep.
Yes.
Sapon's mantra implores more humane dealings across the board. The ethics of vegan philosophy calls for a gentle, respectful, benevolent, and compassionate treatment of all life forms, human and animal, he says. Basically, for Sapon and many other vegans, the act of trying to live animal-free is the important part. The degree to which one chooses to do so is a personal formality. Atkins, another vehement vegan, puts it this way. Some people consider veganism giving something up, he says. I don't see it that way. I just don't want to purchase or contribute to anything that hurts animals. I agree with him there. Fine by me. This part of the article is called Staying Alive. People have to eat to live, and some argue virtually everything consumed by humans, including non-meat eaters, can be traced back to a dead animal. Vegetables, for example, must be farmed according to the argument. Farms need land, and countless animals perish when that land is tilled and occupied. So is it really even possible to survive without causing harm to another living creature in some way? Fisher says he's not sure living without impacting animals is possible, but that would be my goal. Johnson, on the other hand, takes another tack. I try not to wear leather, for example. Now remember, this guy's a vegan. But I have leather shoes on right now. Not vegan.
Vegans don't eat eggs.
Or wear leather. You try to do your best, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Every once in a while, you come across a preachy vegan. He says, but he calls that the exception, not the rule. Johnson's girlfriend is a meat eater, but he says their different tastes don't get in the way. There was a dirty joke there, and I went right by it. I make my evaluations based on what's right for me, he says. As for those who dine on fish or poultry, Johnson agrees with Fisher. That's cute and all, he says, but someone who eats fish is not a vegetarian. And this is true. Matt Prescott, director of People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, Factory Farming and Vegan Campaigns, follows along with Sapon's thinking that some cruelty is unavoidable. PETA's message is that when a harmless option is present, people should make the choice that does not support cruelty. And eating meat, eggs, or dairy products supports cruelty unless it is happy meat. I added that last part. I mean, it's hard to have much respect for PETA when they shack up with McDonald's, with Temple Grandin, with Whole Foods, with all these other places that sell and make money from animal suffering. It's hard to take them seriously. PETA, the world's largest vegan advocacy organization.
That's the funniest thing I've heard all day. Yeah.
Yeah. Uses its website, goveg.com, as the main platform for its campaign. And it goes on and talks about, blah, 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 PETA. And what do the meat people say? While you might expect them to be licking their chops over the idea of dissent among flora feeders, a spokeswoman for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association bit her tongue when asked to comment. The association has no point of view on how vegetarians perceive each other, she says.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
So there you go. That was from ABC News. And Snowboard Bunny herself, Kristen, says, let's see. The vegan they interviewed happened to be wearing leather shoes that day and said something like, well, you do your best, but sometimes you can't avoid it. And she says leather shoes aren't hard to avoid.
Yeah, really.
I mean, they're not.
I know.
And, again, the whole media thing, making vegans look contradictory. It's like, here's a guy who's like, well, I try to avoid animal products, and then he's wearing leather shoes. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
I could introduce him to...
And he lives in is this the guy that lives in New York City?
I don't think it's a different guy.
Okay.
I can introduce him to 1,500 vegans on our forums who don't have to wear leather shoes.
No.
It's like, what the fuck?
Okay, it could, maybe if you went vegan yesterday and that's all you have to wear. That's understandable.
Yeah.
But if you've been vegan for a long time, it's about time you got rid of the leather.
I think so too. And,
Okay.
Aye. So she said she thought we might find that interesting for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. But I also think, it's useful for the article to set up vegans as people with all these internal contradictions.
Of course. And people who claim that they don't eat or wear animal products.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Claim. The vegans.
The vegans.
We're the Vegan Freak Radio. The vegans. So anyway, the vegans, I hope you haven't tuned out yet. I hope I haven't offended you with my rants and raves. But we keep it real here. That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
We say what's on our minds. We don't expect you to agree with us.
We're going to be angry.
What's that?
I said we're going to be angry.
At times we are going to be angry.
These two articles make me angry.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know.
Seize the anger, use it,
Exactly.
channel it, work with it.
Right.
Don't try to... I mean, look, how many people do this like, oh, we shouldn't be angry, and they repress it, and then all of a sudden it comes out in one really nasty...
Right. Exactly. Use it in constructive ways.
That's right. You got to channel it,
Not
man.
destructive ways.
I actually think you can channel anger in very constructive ways. So
You can.
that's my thinking on the issue.
Ay.
I need a drink of water.
Okay.
So don't we have a voicemail?
We have one voicemail. We're going to save most of our voicemails for the next show.
Yeah.
But we had one we wanted to play. Last week we said
Oh,
that we
shit.
wanted... What?
I had something from Roger about that article. I'll read it on the next show.
Okay, the next show.
Go ahead.
We did ask for a couple of, UK and Australian listeners
Yeah.
to get in touch with us.
Yeah.
And we did get at least one Australian person.
Yeah.
And
We got one from South Africa too, didn't we? Yeah.
on the MyChingo?
I think someone said it. I think. Go ahead.
File. Okay.
Yeah.
But we did get a nice, very funny one from Scotland.
Oh, this better be the Vegan Freaks podcast line thing, because if it's not, sorry, random American. Sorry we invaded your voicemail.
Apparently they called the wrong number earlier.
Oops.
This is the Scottish Freaks meetup. It's bitchin', yo. Damn the patriarch. Damn the patriarch to the ground, etc. Anyway, passing the phone around now.
Hello, it's Ellie, and I wanted to go to sleep, but they woke me up and told me that I had to talk to you, and I skinned a penis once.
Oh my.
She what?
Hello,
I believe she said I skinned a penis once.
Skinned a penis.
I don't know. Ask Lily.
it's Christoph, and I just woke up after a power nap while everyone was playing Jenga.
Jenga, yeah.
Jenkins is the best.
Hello, this is Alice, aka Allegra, and we're all being very drunk and inappropriate.
It's the only way to be.
Hello, this is Andrea, aka Drea, and Cock, and I eat dumpstered babies.
I eat dumpster babies.
He sounded like Fat Bass.
He did.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm Weege, by the way. Bitchin'.
That was pretty bitchin', Weege.
Thank you for that. That
If
was
you would-
worth a very good laugh.
It was great. If you want to hear a more sober Weege or a more sober Lely, we interviewed Lely on, I don't remember
a
what
while
show.
back.
We interviewed Weege on show 42.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. Though. So that was a Vegan Freak meetup over in Scotland.
Apparently they had quite a good time.
Apparently they did. And yeah, we're always about Vegan Freak meetups. If we can ever do anything to help make those happen, you let us know.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Ay.
So I think we're done for today.
Cool.
We'll be back.
We will be
hopefully in a
back.
few days.
No, there's no hopefully. We'll be back on Thursday.
Okay.
We have to come back on Thursday. So, and then we're going out of town, and then we'll be back again, and we're going to try to get into a regular schedule.
Yeah.
I feel bad when we don't do the show on time, because I just do.
I like doing it weekly. It's good.
I do too, but it's just really busy time here. So, because I've got really shit to do for my real job that's killing me.
Yeah.
And writing a book.
Yeah.
And starting another book.
Yeah.
So we're very busy.
Yeah. And if everything goes well, cross our fingers, Dino's book should ship later this week.
Absolutely.
If everything goes well.
It'll go well. It'll go well.
So.
That's it. Anyway, thanks for your patience with us. If you have any questions or comments, get in touch. Show at veganfreakradio.com. You can send us email. You can attach a file if you want. You can go to our website, veganfreakradio.com, and leave a voicemail on the site. You can call 267-295-1944. Am I missing anything?
I think you got it all.
Cool. Well, anyway, thank you for listening. Take it easy. Don't be too mad at us, and have a good week.
Bye.
Or have a good couple days.
Yes.
We'll be back in a few days, we promise. I promise.
Okay.
Because if I promise, I'll feel bad if we don't do it. So I promise.
All right.
All right. Ciao.
Bye.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm Weege, by the way. Bitchin'.